Now we're live.
We're
Hello,
live.
welcome.
We're live.
So,
I never know what to do with my hands, like during these like interviews or podcasts. You know, it's kind of like Ricky Bobby. Did you ever see Talladega Nights?
Yep.
Yeah, when he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I'm kind of like that. Like, do I wave? Do I do like one of those? I don't know. But
any of the things, all of the above. It's
yeah.
all acceptable hand behavior. So this is a live stream, guys. If you're watching us live right now, please make comments so that we can interact with you. And my name's Jacob. If you haven't seen me or heard of me before, I'd be very surprised, but it's possible, very possible, because this is likely shared in places where people have never heard of me. And I'm here joined with my special guest today, which is McClain Warren, owner of The Right Buzz, and she is super famous also. So if you haven't heard of McClain, it's possible also because this is being simulcast and streamed and shared all over the interwebs. So now you know who we are.
Now you know. I don't know if that'll make your life any better knowing us, but you know, hopefully.
I think it would. We've got all kinds of different camera angles. There's the crazy zoom in. There's like in set. There is the ability to share a site that we haven't loaded yet. But essentially, I'm going to tell you a bit about this live stream. The reason I brought McClain Warren in is because I know she's a super, super smart person. She's very good at writing. She's very good with words. She can do copywriting. She can do listings on any kind of digital platform that involves words, which is like all of them. Mostly, there's not too many digital sales programs without words.
You don't have to do a math one.
Okay, no numbers.
No numbers.
Okay, so McClain, I'm going to let you introduce people to yourself. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share this live stream with 35,000 online sellers across 2 Facebook groups that are closed to the public, unless you're a member of the group. So McClain Warren.
No pressure at all.
Yeah, tell us about yourself while I share your information with 35,000 online sellers.
Well, I feel like I should have made something up that was a bit more exciting. But my name is McClain Warren. I am a Colorado native. I've lived in a lot of states throughout the country. Not that that's really pertinent to my writing, but I think it gives a little color to who I am. I've always had a propensity for writing, always loved it. Started in the Amazon space about 6 years ago. I worked for a pretty well-known Amazon marketing company as a copywriter, worked my way up the corporate ladder, then decided to start my own marketing company, which I then sold later on. And now I own The Right Buzz, which is pretty much all-inclusive copywriting business that does everything from blogging to web content to listing optimizations, sales copy, essentially anything you need that does not involve numbers. So that's pretty much who I am.
Tell us about The Right Buzz, because I'm really interested. You started your own company. I'll be right back on the live for a minute. I'm still doing the sharing in the background, but tell us about what is The Right Buzz? What does that mean? How long has it been around? Like, where do you do the work? Who do you work with? I want to know more about you.
A lot of questions. So essentially what happened is when I left my other company, I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do after that. I knew I liked to write, but I was kind of over just focusing on Amazon and just doing Amazon related copy, right? So I knew I wanted to still write and make a living doing that. I just didn't know really how to go about doing it. And actually, Danny McMillan was the one that told me, hey, look, you are very talented at copywriting. Just do that. Just put out. He was literally like, just put something on Facebook saying, hey, anyone looking for a copywriter, right? And it really was that simple that I did that, thinking it'd be just kind of like a part-time thing until I really figured out exactly what I wanted to do. And it turns out there is a lot of people in need for content, like a lot. So,
yeah.
It was almost like this weird overnight thing where all of a sudden a lot of people were requesting my services. And so I decided just to put a name to it and make it an LLC, make it official. So that's.
So do you have any sort of a website or anything like that that we could look at as part of getting to know McClain Warren?
Yeah, it's still pretty new, so there's a lot more work that needs to be done. But if you want to check out Your Right Buzz, YOUR rightbuzz.com. Yeah, I couldn't actually get the name for The Right Buzz, so that's confusing. But that's my website. And yeah, if you want a free consultation for your business or want to know any of my services, you can send me an email or book a consultation. I love talking to people and getting to know their businesses and what sparks their desire to sell what they sell. And yeah, I love doing the consultation part because it really helps me establish the purpose behind why they are doing what they're doing and why they're passionate about it. So
I'm going to tell people a bit about the Right Buzz. So first of all, McClain Warren has the website, yourrightbuzz.com. And she mentioned that she has services. So by clicking on the service tab, I can read these. You do listing optimizations, search engine optimization, Facebook advertising, right? As well as writing services, e-commerce copywriting, corporate or business blogging, web content writing, sales and marketing services, digital marketing consultations, advertising, campaign strategies, and coming soon, online appointments. Right?
Yeah, that's the business we're offering, is coming soon, online appointments.
It looks like this is not just you, it's a team. So you have McClain, obviously, the Queen Bee Warren, and then also Gamma Ray, who
she's a rock star, absolute rock star. Yeah, with as busy as we get, I couldn't do anything without her. So yeah, she's awesome. And then I have my little mascot over there too. I haven't named the bee yet. Do you think I should name him?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think every good mascot needs a name and needs to be relatable. And when I see the Right Buzz, I'm thinking buzz like a bee.
Right.
Bees are pollinators. Bees create food.
Right.
Honey and exciting things, plants. Something like 30% of the world's planet needs bees to pollinate. So maybe 30% of the world's e-retailers need the Right Buzz to write copywriting for them.
I like that. I should hire you to do my advertising. I like that connection. Yeah. I didn't know where you were going with it, but you did really well right on the spot.
Well, this is really live. I promise it's not recorded. And this is the first time we've ever talked looking at each other at the same time on a video. We talked one other time, which was about an hour ago while I was driving. So that was the first time we had talked, right? So we know of each other, but we don't know each other. So we're going to get to know each other. And anybody watching the replay or watching live is going to get to know us both, I guess. So
I feel like we're doing well so far. Like, we haven't fought yet. I hope. Should we have our first fight just to get it over with?
If you want, I don't know. I can't believe you sent me that text one time. In the fight.
I'm just kidding.
All right. So how do we know each other? Why are we talking today? I'll give you a clue by these little banners that I put across the bottom. It's like a clue cards. So guess what? We're going to be at the Empowery Women's E-Commerce Conference. And you're a woman, so this makes sense because it's the Women's E-Commerce Conference. But I'm not a woman. So the question that people ask all the time, they're like, well, something you want to tell us, Jacob? Like, why are you going to be at the Women's Conference? What's happening, right? And my response to them, I made a little banner at the bottom. Both men and women are welcome to come to the Women's Conference. It's happening in Las Vegas, July 16th, 17th. It's called the Empowery Women's E-Commerce Conference, or Empowery Women's Conference. And anybody who wants to go can use a special code to save 15% at registration. So now that's out there.
So now that's out there.
But just to answer the question, yes, both men and women can attend. I'll be attending as a man. And Warren, McClain, I'm going to guess women.
I don't know. I think I'm trying to decide how I should attend. I'm still uncertain, but it's 2021, so I can show up however I want, right?
You could be a man, woman, non-binary. There's so many changes in 2021. This is an interesting fact. I just recently did the Canadian census. So this is a census here in Canada, and they mail you a card, and a card has like a little, like an information number thing that you type into the internet. And then you go online and you have to answer questions because it's the census, right? It's like literally a bunch of questions for everybody. Right. And there was a huge portion of the census this year, which I hadn't seen on previous ones, about like, how do you identify? What is your sex? Is it man, is it woman? What was your sex at birth? Was it different? Was it the same? Has it changed? And we were like, well, I don't know. Like, yeah, I was born. I'm a man now. When I was born, I guess I was a baby. So I was a boy at that time. I'm still going with that.
So got the same parts.
it can change, and that's normal. So I just thought it was interesting. It was a big part of the census. There was a lot of questions about that. And I thought, man, you don't want to know about like my economic status or like where I live, or I guess they already know your address. They mailed you the card. But for a census, I thought it was like a lot of information about
what kind of genitalia you have.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. So, all right, what makes you interested in going to the Empowery Women's E-commerce Conference? You're obviously going, right? We talked about this. You said you're going to go. You're in the promotional video saying, I'll be there.
I know, so I guess I have to be. I guess I'm...
Pressure's on.
No, I'm really excited. Melissa has done an amazing job getting everything set up. She's working like a crazy person. And to be totally frank, I wasn't involved in any of the ones in the past. So I haven't actually seen the way the layout is or how it goes in general. But I've heard from other ladies that have attended and spoken and done what do you call them, workshops, that they had a blast doing it. They learned a lot. It was really great in terms of meeting like-minded people and just learning stuff that they didn't know before. So I'm always a big fan of networking, and I'm a big fan of learning anything and everything. So I'm just really excited about that. And I'm excited that it does, while it is for men and women, it does highlight women in the community, because I do think while the community is growing larger and larger with women influencers and experts, they're still very much not undermined, but just not seen as much as men are in the space. So
this is like the 4th or 5th live stream that I've just done this week about the conference, and the theme I'm hearing is from some of the people, like from yourself. It seems like in the past you have felt that women are marginalized on the platforms, like speakers and workshop providers. So you feel that there's more men in the Amazon seller conferences and things like that on the stage?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, I think, and I don't mean that in like coming off as like an angry feminist, because I don't feel that way at all. But I do think, they're underrepresented. And so it is nice to see in recent times, there is a little bit more of a push toward recognizing women in the space and what they're doing. And I think the Empowery Women's Conference is doing a great job at highlighting women that are doing these things. So yeah,
I agree. And for anybody that's not familiar with the conference or why that's the case, all of the speakers and all of the shop providers are all women at the Empowery Women's E-commerce Conference. Now, this is the second conference of its type. I believe the first one was last year, and I think that was the first all-women speakers conference on e-commerce ever, as far as I know. And
was it last year? Because last year was COVID.
Yeah, it was right in the middle of COVID. So they met on Manhattan Beach in California, and it was right, like COVID hit the news right around the same time. So
got it.
When I was talking with Melissa about it, we keep mentioning this Melissa person, right? So there's this Melissa person. She's the general manager for Empowery. And so that's why that's who Melissa, that's the Melissa we're talking about.
The Melissa.
It's not some other Melissa that's
not a Melissa, it's the Melissa.
Yeah. So it is an Empowery event, and Empowery is an organization that is a nonprofit cooperative. Mm-hmm. and it vets and finds professionals in their areas and, vets them for authenticity and effectiveness and other metrics, and then provides their membership, the people in the cooperative, with access to those vendors. And then instead of receiving, let's say like affiliate commissions for the services that they connect people with, they use part of that money to give back to the membership. So essentially, as a member of Empowery, you can save money on products and services having to do with online selling and e-commerce, which is fantastic. And it's a nonprofit, so it's not trying to make money from you. It's trying to help you out.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think the only system like that right now that I know of, in terms of for like the people in the Amazon space or e-commerce space.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about what is the conference, what's there. It's a 2-day event. The first day is going to be speakers, and there are a number of speakers that are going to speak, and we can go through the Empowery conference website, actually. We can see who the speakers are. And then day 2, there's workshops, and workshops are provided live and in person, and they're available both interactively, virtually, from anybody in the world, as well as in person for people that are there. A good point to mention, this is a live stream, and so if you're watching live, you can say, hey, I can see that Megla, who was on last night, talking about we talked for a good time. We scheduled, I think, like 20 minutes to possibly 1 hour conversation, and then we ended the conversation live stream around 3 hours after we started, and then we talked for like maybe another hour after that. So Megla, good to see you watching the live stream. Thank you for spending 4 hours together on video with me last night. It was exciting. 3 of which were live streams, so you can watch the replay if you go and find it on my personal Facebook page or any of these groups that this is streaming to. So anybody who's watching live can put in comments. We have the ability to broadcast your comments across the bottom. Anyway, so day 1's learning. Day 2 is the workshops, putting into application the things that were done. And Warren, I keep saying Warren, it's McClain. McClain is your first name, Warren is your last name.
I know, it's confusing. Like I said, I've been called worse in my life, so just call me whatever.
Okay. So there's a possibility
that the fourth time you messed up my name.
You may or may not be doing a workshop, and you may or may not be a speaker at the conference. Is this true or false?
The way you phrased it was kind of awkward.
That's true. It's may or may not.
I'm just gonna keep it ambiguous and say that I may or may not. But I'll definitely be there. I'll definitely be there. And for sure, if anyone has any questions regarding advice on anything dealing with writing, I'm always available. And I promise I don't bite. I'm very friendly. So feel free to approach me and ask whatever, or, buy me a drink if you really want to.
It's a good idea. When you're networking and people are hydrated, they can speak clearly and not get dry throats and things. So you buy Warren a drink. McClain, exactly. Drink. I'm just gonna call you Warren, okay? From now on, that's your new name.
That's like I said. I've been called
this live stream. It's not your first name. It is your last name though, so it is your name.
Yeah, there you go. Well, in your defense, it was my mom's maiden name, so it technically is the last name. So I'll let it go.
Okay, all right. So it is a 2-day event. There are four ways that people can participate in the conference. One of them, which is virtual access. There's a virtual access ticket. It's $149, includes both days, the workshops and the speakers. And my understanding is not only is it live, obviously, because it's a virtual ticket, but it's interactive. So it's real time and it's interactive and it's live. And if you live in the US, it includes a physical, real swag bag, which will be mailed to people that sign up for the virtual ticket. Now, you can buy the tickets at this website. So if you're on a phone, you can screenshot that or just click a link probably around this live stream that we're doing. There's also, if you want to go in person, like I'll be there in person, and you're going to be there in person, right? And
as a woman, I'll be there as a woman in person.
Okay, so you represent the women, I'll represent the guys, and you can get a general access ticket. It's $3.99 for a general access ticket. If you are wanting to get the more premium experience from the conference, you can get the VIP access. I'm definitely getting the VIP access because I want all of the VIP access things. Do you know what kind of ticket you might get?
Oh, what kind of ticket I might get?
Yeah.
Well, I get to go for free, so that's like triple VIP.
Are you for sure? Yeah. How did you work this? Tell us. Tell the 35,000 people how do we get there for free?
I'm just super skeptical.
Okay.
But I am curious because if I was going to pay, what exactly is involved with the VIP access? Like, what do you get?
Excellent question. So the VIP access gives you access, first of all, to a third day, which is the pre-event soiree in the Skylofts of the MGM, which is right on the downtown strip in Las Vegas. Again, the event's in Las Vegas. So if you're there physically and you have the VIP access, you get access to the pre-event. You also get access to 2 VIP dinners. I'll be there. You'll be there. Other VIP ticket holders will be there. All of the speakers will be there. The workshop people will be there. The sponsors, if they're at the event, will be at the dinners. So it's going to be like probably the best dinner of the night. And it's going to happen twice, both nights. So on the 16th, there's a dinner. And the 17th, there's a dinner just for the VIP ticket holders. Plus, you also get access to videos where everything is from the conference is recorded, right? So if you're out doing networking when you should be, being there listening live, but you still want the content, you just go and watch the videos afterwards and you get all the content, whether you're there or not, even if you have a VIP ticket. Of course, the VIP ticket gives you access to both days. It also gives you 2 free lunches. So you get 2 dinners and 2 lunches, all included with 1 VIP ticket. And you get the VIP swag bag, which is an upgraded swag bag from the regular swag bag for the general access ticket holders. And the price difference between the general access ticket and the VIP ticket is $200.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to get the videos separately, they're also $1 less at $199. So $199 US gets you the video. So that's kind of like some information about the thing. And to summarize it, in case you're just tuning in, you're watching live, and you're like, what is going on here? Who are these people? Why is Jacob on the live stream? Why is McClain talking to this guy? He's crazy, right? So there's 4 options to this conference, which is being held in Las Vegas. The 4 options are general admission, normal, $399. VIP, so it's $200 more. It's $599. There's virtual access, which is available worldwide, and that's $149. And then there's videos, which are $199. So I think that's about as clear as that can be. Unless you want to save money, in which case you can use the coupon JT Empowery Women 15, and that will cost you 15% less money. Now, in your case, you have a free ticket. So if you use the coupon JT Empowery Women 15, you will save 15% of nothing, which would be zero.
Does that mean I gain money?
Well, that's 15% of what you're paying. So if you get the VIP ticket, you save around $90. If you get the other tickets, you save 15% of whatever the ticket price is. And it's like an acronym or like a mnemonic. So you can think of like what words could make up. And I think it's funny. So JT, you might think is Justin Timberlake, or it could be Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, but it all calls to be Jacob Topping. And then Empowery, like the sponsor of the event, the creator of the whole thing, the Empowery. Mm-hmm. And then women, because it's the women's conference. And 15, very closely related to the 15% off that you save at registration. So it's an easy way to remember it. JT, Empowery, women, 15. You type that in and you save a bunch of money.
How long did that mnemonic take you to come up with?
Well, I said to the event organizers, how can people that are in my audiences come to your conference and pay less money? Because I want to save them money. And then I got within 45 seconds, I got this gigantic, huge, long code that's a coupon code. You just put it in registration and then they can save 10%. So it didn't take long, and I didn't make it up. It was just like assigned to me. It was like, boom, assigned to you, Jacob.
Got it.
Which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to be there in person for real. So if we haven't met before, we can meet. Like you and I have not met in person before, but
No. We're getting closer.
We're going to meet in person, right? I'm going to recognize you because I'm seeing you now, and I'll see you at the conference. I'll be like, yep, that's definitely McClain. I talked to her on video, and now in person we'll meet. And you could see me as well and say, oh, that's Jacob.
And I'll just run away.
Yeah, unless I'm wearing a disguise, which would be that would be really funny, eh? Like go up to the conference and just wear a complete, like a whole disguise, right?
Yeah.
That'd be, it'd be crazy. There's a lot of stuff that's available on the internet these days. People can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I wonder if you could get like a Facebook profile picture of somebody and then send it into a service and have them make up like an entire like disguise. You could like come as somebody else.
That would be brilliant.
Right? Like I could be Melissa. I could just show up and be like, hey guys, hey, it's Melissa. Yeah, I'm a little I look a little different today, but it's COVID. Everything's fine.
COVID.
You're like, Melissa, you're the wrong height, and you're like I'm fat, okay, so I'm really large, and so they'd be like, well, Melissa, like, what happened? Like, I'd be like, oh, it's just COVID, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah, and then you're like, yeah, the 6-inch growth that you get during COVID as well. That was COVID. All COVID.
Growth, right? I mean, Bill Gates made me grow. It's part of the RDNA. But seriously, there's some serious network opportunities. So you can go to the conference, you can network with me, you can network with McClain, and you can bring your laptop and do the things live. So whether you have the virtual ticket or the general admission or the VIP, all of those are live. Only the videos are not live. The videos are after the event. So they're going to be recorded videos. You can watch them, and I guess while you're watching them, it's live to the watcher. It's kind of relative liveness. But yeah, so if you bring a laptop, you can do the things at the workshops. They're going to be small groups with individual attention. People like attention individually, right?
I mean, I do. Like, yeah. I like undivided attention for sure.
Yeah, me too. All right, so this is the website again. You can take a screenshot of it or go to it or click on a link, which will be part of the live stream. McClain, I noticed that you're outside and I'm inside. I am near Ottawa, Canada, because we have no idea where we are if people are tuning in just now live.
Right.
Where are you located?
I actually just moved from South Florida up to the Asheville area in North Carolina. So now that I'm in this beautiful area, this is like my work spot. I literally work outside all day. Like I'm never in an office anymore, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
And like it looks like you've got ideal weather conditions in North Carolina there, right? So what's like, is it, do you have like a roof above you? How do you keep your laptop dry? Are you using a laptop?
I am using a laptop. I mean, I don't want to give everyone a tour of my house, but essentially there's an overhang of the balcony over here. And then over here, I'm just exposed to weather. So, if it starts raining, I'll go in. But it really doesn't, I don't know. It's just maybe because I'm new, I'm naive. Like, I'm sure come winter, there's no way I'll be working outside. But for now, I just love it. Like, the weather's been amazing. So. And
you moved from Florida to North Carolina. So were you in Florida for a while?
I was there for about 6 years. And it's so funny because I feel like wherever people are, they're just trying to get away from it. So it's funny because I wanted to get away from Florida. It was just too much traffic and city life and noise, and I'm much more of a country girl, I guess you could say. So I moved here, right? Like, I'm trying to get away from Floridians and I apologize to anyone that's in Florida right now, but I mean, we're all a bunch of a-holes, really. So I'm trying to get. I mean, and you are. Like, that's the thing is, like, Floridians know they are. They are fully aware of it, and that's fine. They own it. So I moved here thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to get away from Florida, right?
Yeah.
No joke. Everyone that's moved here is from Florida. Like, everyone has had the same idea. So and it sounds like hyperbole, but seriously, I would say of all the people I've met, like 80% of them are from Florida or have lived in Florida at some point. It's crazy.
The Florida connection.
So don't move here if you're from Florida.
Don't move to North Carolina from Florida.
It sucks.
All right.
It sucks here. You wouldn't want to be here. So.
I love it. Okay, now you and I have been friends on Facebook for longer than just today, right? We met on Facebook some time ago for some reason, and I understand you are like a professional skier. You like to ski. You like the outdoors.
I am a snowboarder, so let's get that straight. You're messing everything up today, Jacob. Come on.
I'm giving you the opportunity to exhibit your writing skills, correcting me.
Come on, JT. Let's get this go. Let's get this right. No, so I grew up in Vail, Colorado. Hashtag bragging. Or humble brag, whatever they say. So I love snowboarding and really any outdoor events. Anything from tubing to hiking to snowboarding I just love it all. Going to see live concerts outdoors. I'm very outdoor oriented. So
yes.
Yeah.
I believe it. You're outdoors now. You just mentioned you work outdoors. You love being outdoors. It sounds like you're very active, right?
Yep.
Any outdoor tips for people? Because you're very good being outdoors.
Don't get mauled by bears. I feel like that's a good tip. Or mauled by any kind of wild animal. I would suggest not doing that.
So be aware of the surroundings.
Yeah, I guess it's a nicer way of putting it.
Have you seen any bears in North Carolina?
Yeah, well, here there is, but this is more speaking from Colorado. Like, there's such bad problems with bears becoming human oriented. Like, they're not afraid of humans anymore, right? And this is actually happening around the country. I don't know if in Canada you guys have that issue, but what happens is the bears get in all your trash cans and stuff, right? So there's actually, you can get ticketed or fined if you don't have locks on all your trash cans.
Oh, is that a private opportunity for Amazon sellers, is to sell and make people aware of the laws around locking your trash cans?
That actually might be a good Amazon product. I don't know if they have a bunch out there already, but yeah, it's a serious issue. At one point we had issues with bears getting into people's cars, right? And just destroying the inside of these cars. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure car insurance doesn't cover bear mauling. So, so that's an issue. But otherwise, my advice is enjoy the outdoors as much as you can. Get out.
I agree. So did you know, right before we talked, I was driving, because you knew that, because I said I'm driving while we're talking. Mm-hmm. And hands-free, right? No, don't touch your phone while you're driving, or the police will.
Hands-free from the wheel or your phone?
Don't touch your phone while you're driving, or the police will give you a ticket. It's a public service announcement. So, quick question from a live comment viewer here. Rana wants to know what rhymes with castle. Inside jokes. That's what's Rana. Inside jokes rhymes with castle. This is because you're a writer. So what rhymes with castle?
Well, it depends if you ask my son or if you ask me. So the joke was that I have a 5-year-old, right? So essentially it's about time to get rid of him. But he, out of the blue, he asked me, "Hey mom, what rhymes with castle?" And I swear the first thing that popped in my brain, am I allowed to cuss on here? I don't know if I'm allowed to, but
no, we have extremely strict language rules on the live show. You can't say fuck, shit, any kind of cussing, god damn it, none of that. Absolutely no cursing whatsoever, unless you're the guest.
Okay.
So yeah, you can. Nobody else.
He says, "What rhymes with castle?" And the first thing that pops in my head, it doesn't even rhyme, but it's asshole. It's just that's the only thing I could think of. I don't say that out loud to him, but that's the first thing I think of. And then I say, I go, I don't know, Memphis. What do you think rhymes with castle? And then he goes, well, I'm not allowed to say it out loud because it's a bad word. And I'm like, oh great. So it's like father or like mother, like son, essentially. So that was that joke. It's really not that funny unless you were there, but now you guys know what rhymes with castle.
So now you and Rana were talking about this aside from the conversation you had with your son. So how did that work?
Oh, I don't know. Rana and I, he's like my other brother, or he's like my other son. I have to babysit him all the time. So essentially when I asked him what rhymes with castle, he said the same thing. So
castle asshole.
Yeah. Castle.
Now, other people could also say rascal or hassle, or
there are plenty of options. There are tons of options. I'm just saying the one that popped up in my brain because that's the way I think.
That makes sense. You could do dazzle, basil, cashel, hazel, hazel.
Basil. How does basil rhyme with castle?
They both have an ill sound, maybe regional accents. I don't know. Maybe they don't rhyme. Maybe it depends. So, Rana, and so you were part of this Miami thing, right? What happened? So we've talked to some other people about this, but what happened in Miami?
I don't know if I can talk about it. I think it's like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except pregnancy. Yes, we
part of the yacht scene in Miami.
We were part of the yacht. The yachting is what we did.
And the reason I know you're there is because you're on a promotional video for the Empowery Women's Conference coming in July 16th, 17th in Las Vegas. And I saw that everybody that was in that particular video were in the same place. And so if you knew if any of those people were in that place at the time, you knew that they were in Miami. So you were in Miami. And then spontaneously one day, just because you could, you and the other people that were in Miami decided, let's rent a yacht, right? And you went out on the yacht, and I mean, the yacht was not on land. It wasn't docked or anything. You were out on the water. So tell us about that. Like, what was that like?
It was amazing. We had this weird situation with the captain who I'm trying to think of exactly how it went down. Essentially, he didn't have like the right license or something, and he wanted us to pay him under the table. And so at this point, we don't know any of this till we're out on the water. And so Cassandra and Emma, who will also both be at Empowery, they're thinking to themselves, well, this is how we die, obviously, like, or we get, sold into slavery.
So there's a whole boat full of people on this yacht. So you definitely, I mean, the yacht, it's on the ocean, right? You guys were in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, we were out in the ocean. It was going to be a long way to swim if we had to escape. But
it could have quickly become a trip to Guatemala or something, right?
That's what we were actually thinking was going to happen. Some of us, at that point, I had started drinking, so I was kind of like, whatever happens, happens. But yeah, some people were very scared. But it was fun. After we realized we weren't going to get murdered or sold into slavery, we quite enjoyed ourselves. Quite a lot. Yes. Indeed.
So, all right. So that is what has happened in the past, and that's how you know Rana, and that's how this came up. So also, just want to point out, Megla says she had a blast. I'm assuming that she is referring to the live stream that we did last night, where we talked about imports, exports from India. And she wants to know where my ninja costume is. So have you watched that live stream?
Have I?
Yeah. I mean, we spent 3 hours creating premium India sourcing content that you can.
And you were wearing a costume?
Well, yeah. I mean, I can do it, but it might take a second. So, you want to see that?
I would love to see
it. It happen. All right, I'm going to go off screen for a second here because it's remarkably complex. So you tell the people about the right buzz, and I'll be right back.
Oh man, all this pressure. I can just like do funny faces or something. Yeah, so I guess if you didn't catch it earlier, my name is McClain, and I own a company called The Right Buzz that specializes in pretty just writing in general. Like, if you need any help with any kind of writing, web content, blogging, articles, listing optimizations, hate mail to your ex, like whatever kind of writing you want, hit me up. You can find me on Facebook. I even have a Facebook page for The Right Buzz. What else? I don't know. That's yeah. That's about it. So now I have to come up with more stuff to talk about. I'm trying to think of what I talk about to myself, like in the bathroom when I'm looking in the mirror. Like what kind of weird thoughts go on in my head. But now that I know, like, there's a bunch of people listening, it's almost like, dude.
All right. So
that is what the captain of the yacht looked like. Oh my gosh. Nailed it.
So this is going to be a segment we're going to call Ninja Secrets of Writing. But I'm typing really slowly because I can't see because these aren't my glasses.
How can you even see?
McClain, Warren.
You know what? You kind of look like the Unabomber.
Yeah, well, okay. So we're here with McClain Warren talking about ninja secrets to writing with McClain Warren. So, McClain, tell us, what are some secrets to making a great listing for an online listing?
Well, spelling writing correctly would be my first tip.
Okay, spelling is important. Excellent. Continue.
Are you reviewing that?
Oh, yeah, I'm just reviewing it. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see anything. Go ahead. Ninja Secrets of Writing, take 2 with McClain Warren. So, McClain, on this second take of our live broadcast where everybody's watching live, and you can definitely make comments, so feel free to comment. Yes, if you have any questions for McClain. She really is a super good writer, and I can vouch for this because I have seen your text messages, and I thought, my goodness, this is a work of art. Okay. It's already reviewed in part 1 of our series, Ninja Secrets of Writing with McClain Warren, that spelling is important in your listing. So make sure things are spelled correctly. Yeah. What else can somebody do if they have a listing, let's say on Amazon, to make it really pop and stand out?
Here's the deal with Amazon is you don't have much time to grab your audience's attention, right? Like, one, it's hard enough to get them when they see your listing on the SERP. It's really hard just by one picture and a title to get them to actually go on to your listing. So one of the suggestions I make is if you have the room for it and you already have nailed down your first 2 keyword phrases, I suggest at the end coming up with something that really makes the reader resonate with it and wants to click on your listing. So one of the biggest mistakes I think a lot of people make is they write their listing for Amazon as opposed to for their customers. So they're very much about getting all those keywords in, making sure, actually really that's all it comes down to is getting all their keywords in, which is great. You have to be found on Amazon. You have to rank. You have to work with the algorithm. No question about that. But at the end of the day, you're selling to people. You're not selling to Amazon. So you really want to capture your audience's attention. And the only way to do that is find a way that makes you stand out from all your other competitors. So one of the ninja costume. What's that?
Like this ninja costume. It was requested by our viewers. And there's not a lot of live streams where you see somebody completely covering their face that we usually see. So it's standing out by capturing the buyer's attention and saying, what the heck is this? What's the heck is going on here? Right. We got the Unabomber talking to McClain.
Right, exactly. Right. So if I was looking up outfits to rob a bank, I definitely think that if you use that image as your main image, I think it would probably work.
I feel like I have a funny story for you about this, and my wife's gonna laugh because so this is me, I'm Jacob, and you just said if you wanted to rob a bank, you could wear that outfit. So I worked in banking for about 15 years roughly, and I was a financial planner for the wealth management division of a large Canadian bank. And if you know, Canada's got some crazy large banks. And I actually bought this sweater, which I thought was very patriotic. It's the Vancouver official Olympic sweater from the 2010 Olympics. So it's, you know, it's an older sweater, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know, I'm on my day off, but I have to do some banking. And of course, I bank at the bank that I work at. And so, you know, I had like my own office in this branch, and I know everybody there. And of course, I'm there 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday, right? So, but I'm on my day off, so I'm not wearing my suit. I didn't have a tie on or anything. Nobody would, like, I didn't even think people would recognize me, but I wasn't sure. So I thought, well, why don't I just kind of be a little disguising, and kind of like, you know, so people don't recognize me as the financial planner that's out of his suit. It's like completely out of your element, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wore this sweater, and I'm like, well, it's like Olympics. This is around 2011, so it just happened. I figured people, it's no big deal. So it's the official sweater of the Vancouver Olympics, right? Okay. And I had my hood up because it's winter, right? And so picture, okay, so imagine walking to the bank, right? Got my hood up because it's winter, and this hood actually comes down. And I thought, well, I don't want anybody to know that it's me, and I got a recognizable face and stuff. I'll cover my face up at the bank. So I walk into the bank like this, right? And this is pre-COVID, so this is like not normal at all. And I go into the bank like this, and I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And I wanted to see if they recognize me. I was just, from my point of view, I thought that'd be funny, right? And then they freaked right out because we actually had a bank robbery recent to that, and I just was completely insensitive. I had no clue, and it was like chaos behind the branch. All the tellers are like, "Oh fuck, we're getting robbed! Like, what are you gonna do? We're gonna talk to the commissioner, like, press the button. Like, who's this guy, right?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's me. It's like I'm Jacob Topping. I'm the guy. This is my office. Here's my card. Sorry, I'm not wearing my suit. I'll put my hoodie down." It was kind of fun. This is my wife laughing because she was there too, right? Were you there?
You told me about it.
You were outside. You were like playing the car.
I was outside.
So I tell her that this happens when I come out, and she's just like, "Jacob, you can't do that. You can't just go into the bank with your face covered. Like, that's bad. Don't do that," right?
Yeah. I don't think you're not your best choice, but definitely worth the story.
Yeah, you know, so in life, sometimes there's a choice between adventure and normalcy, right? And I have a tendency of not understanding what is normal. And so my life, other people would describe as very adventurous because I'm constantly doing stuff that's not normal. And my wife thinks maybe I have like a disability. Like, I literally can't tell the difference between normal and not normal. And so I always joke around, like people say, think outside the box. And my response to that is, I lost my box growing up. I don't have to think outside the box. I live outside the box. I lost my box.
There is no box. There is no box.
Yeah, total chaos. So anyways, that's a story about don't wear a disguise into the bank. Although now, this is kind of funny. In Canada, face coverings are required everywhere. So now the government tells you to go into the bank like this, or else you're not allowed in the bank. So everybody in the bank is standing here like this, right? They got like the face mask or the scarf or whatever. And so if you're wearing like a hat, or in my case, if you're wearing a hoodie, this is like government recommended bank attire.
Right.
You go into the grocery store, I look like this, right? Unless
when COVID came about, and that's what I said. I'm like, this is like the perfect opportunity to rob a place.
Right.
Like, it's the perfect opportunity. I'm actually surprised more robbings didn't occur. Although maybe they were just being very considerate of the shutting down of a lot of places. I don't know.
So is that like the new bank robber disguise? Is don't wear a scarf, and then nobody will know who you are because
exactly. Yeah.
The opposite. It's kind of hilarious.
I always hated the fact that, like, on your phone, when you have to, like, I don't know if your phone you have face recognition, like to turn your phone on.
Yes.
Right?
So much like face phone.
For a year with COVID, it just didn't work because you have this whole thing. I'm just like, recognize me.
Well, I figured that COVID would not be very long. Incorrect. I noted. So I thought, well, I'll just grow my beard out until COVID's done, right? It's going to be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The news is telling you 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks later, another 2 weeks. Okay, great. Month later, 2 more weeks, it's all going to be fine. It's going to go away, right? Like 2 months, 3 months later, 4 months, 5 months, right? 5 minutes later, my beard was like out to here, right?
I remember
was like
that.
bushy.
Yeah.
When we met on Facebook, you're like, I don't know, he's like a walking, hair face, right?
Yeah, and you look like a Yeti or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was. This was up until last September, last October, and people are like, "Oh, you're swimming in the river? You're gonna part the river, Moses? Like, what's with the beard?" And you're right. I got the iPhone, so I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, whatever it's called, and face recognition completely failed to work. Even when I was not wearing a mask, it was just like it didn't know. It was like, yeah, we programmed for beards, but this is ridiculous, Jacob. Like, who are you really? Put your number in. We're not going to open your phone. I had shave, so I could use my phone again, or save time.
Yeah. Well, we all got to make amends sometimes. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So McClain, you gave us some tips, and then we kind of got off topic. But you're saying capture buyers' attention. What are some other things that you can add, or what do you add? So if somebody works with you, right? Let's say I have a listing for 5-leaf chocolate. So I have gold-plated chocolate bars. This is like a half-eaten one that I was chewing on last night. And it's got 24 karat gold on it. It's kind of a unique selling point. And this one in particular is sugar-free. It has no sugar in it. It's completely, doesn't have any sugar. How might I use that in an Amazon listing to capture my buyer's attention or to make sales?
So it's like the Goldschlager of chocolate bars, essentially. Yeah. What that is.
Yeah, we use a lot more gold than they do, but yes.
Well, maybe that's your tagline. We use more gold than Goldschlager.
Okay.
So I always say that, like, just a tip in general for anyone who's writing any kind of copy, whether it's web, blogging, or listing optimization.
Yeah.
Try to use more active sentence structures than passive sentence structures, or more of an active voice than a passive voice. So, for example, what a lot of people do, and I give this analogy a lot, but what a lot of people do is say, let's just say you're selling a really nice chair, right?
Yes.
And what mistake a lot of people make is they focus on the features by saying things like, this chair is super comfortable, it's super soft, this, quality is good. So you're essentially naming adjectives, right? You're explaining the features via adjectives. And that's fine, but those adjectives don't really picture too much of they don't draw too much of a picture in the reader's brain, right? Like, you're trying to sell to something. You want this person to be like, yes, this is going to change my life. This is going to change how I sit. My butt's going to love this shit. Like, that's what you want a reader to think. So when I say use an active voice, what I mean is use verbs to explain to a reader why they should want this. Meaning, you could say something like, after you come home from a hard day's work, just slink into the chair and you'll never want to move. You won't want to move for the rest of the night. Something like that. Because then you're explaining how comfortable and easy, how comfortable it is, how much you want, like, sorry, I'm like searching, ironically, as a writer, I'm searching for words. But every person can relate to the fact that they've had a hard day, right? And every person can relate to the fact that nothing feels better than just slinking or slouching deep into your chair and just kind of zoning out or watching TV, and how good that feels, right? So then you're selling the benefit of the chair, like why the reader would actually want it, as opposed to just naming adjectives that really aren't that descriptive, I would say. And if we're going to use...
Set your mind's delight center on fire by letting this luxurious gold-plated chocolate melt in your mouth.
Right. Yeah.
Mind Fire brand chocolate. Right? If you're looking at gold-plated chocolate listings on Amazon, which let me let you in a tip, it's not a large category because not too many people put 24 karat on them. You could just say this one will set your brain on fire. pretty much.
Yeah. Or instead of eating this, save it for, the apocalypse.
That's right. It could be part of a beauty program. People put mud on their face and stuff. They could put chocolate. It could be used for communication.
Yep. There's a lot of things you could use.
Most versatile chocolate.
Yeah.
And we can list all the things that you could do that are not eating the chocolate.
I like that. The many uses of gold-plated chocolate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Willy Wonka.
You could use it to transport gold out of the country. Actually, funny story. When I was going to London in the UK, I was speaking at the World White Label Expo there. And I brought some chocolate bars because I thought, well, this is something that I can have at my booth and I can give out samples. And it's like super amazing chocolate. We import the beans from Colombia and we hand shell all of them. We roast them in-house. It's like single source, super tasty. And I'm going through the border and it occurs to me, gold, the metal gold is a border controlled substance. You do not transport gold across international borders. It's bad. It's a bad idea. So
really?
Yeah. And I've got like a suitcase full of gold-plated chocolate bars that I'm bringing to give out as samples and sell some of them as well. And it gave me like a panic attack because I don't like crossing the border. Right. And the next time I went back, I was like, okay, well, apparently less than 10 is okay, but more than 10 sets off all these red flags and you get flagged. And then you have to have like an interview with the border people. They're like, so I understand you're transporting gold across the border. Well, how much gold are we talking about? It's $1,900 an ounce. Are you trying to transport more than $10,000 across, the money laundering questions, right? And I'm like, no, I swear, I'm not trying to launder money. And they're like, why do you even know the terminology? You clearly are trying to subvert the system, right? I'm like, no, I worked in financial planning for 10 years. I know all about money laundering. I have to detect it and prevent it, right? And so it just turns into a mess. I really hate crossing the border, but I will cross the border into the United States to go to the Vegas conference for the Women's Empowery conference.
I love how Canadian that whole statement was about being afraid to travel across the border with chocolate. Like most people are afraid to cross the border with like kilos of cocaine or something, and oh, that chocolate.
Well, it's because they stopped me at the border. I have a good reason to be nervous about the chocolate. Yeah. So I'm thinking if I bring some to Vegas, have you had this chocolate before? Has anybody bought you a 5-leaf chocolate bar?
They haven't, and I'm starting to think that no one's ever really loved me because of that.
Well, we can solve that problem by coming to Vegas, showing the love, providing you with chocolate, provided I can get it there. So
right. Why don't you getting stopped at borders? Like, we don't need that kind of situation on our hands.
Well, I know it's COVID, so I'm extra nervous this year.
Right.
So my plan is if I'm going to bring, first I have to make it, right? So this is all made. We manufacture this chocolate in small batches and we're constantly sold out because people are always buying it. Mm-hmm. And so my goal is to mail it in a box, so like a whole box full of many bars to Las Vegas. The issue is it's in the middle of July in Las Vegas, right? And chocolate, as you know, is melt, right? The melting temperature of chocolate is below the temperature of the air in Las Vegas. And so when it goes through the mail, there's a high probability that it will melt en route, before it even gets there. Right. And so in order to get the chocolate there, I either have to risk some kind of international border situation, which gives me a panic attack, or I have to risk mailing my temperature-sensitive, super expensive dark chocolate. So my bars, the chocolate that we sell, it's $10 a bar or $100 for the fully gold-plated bar. So there are like $100 chocolate bars or $10 chocolate bars, right? So if I take 100 bars and, let's say they're all the lower price bar, we're talking like $1,000 worth of chocolate that's probably going to melt in the box. And then depending on how it's protected, I might have a big solid piece of remelted, refrozen chocolate. Even if you freeze it again, if it gets out of the wrappers, it's a complicated logistics situation.
Maybe buy a Yeti cooler and just pack it full of ice with all of your chocolate bars and then mail it that way.
Mail a cooler full of chocolate bars?
Mm-hmm.
And that won't be suspicious at the border either, right? Cold plated chocolate bars in a sealed cooler with like tape for like temperature control and like a big note that says "Do not open." Please.
There's like a thermometer like hanging out. They're like thinking dead body or something.
You never know. Okay, well, so McClain, how much time do you have today, by the way? Because we didn't talk about this. So maybe you thought this was going to be a 5-minute call, or maybe you thought this is the rest of my day, but I have no idea. I have time. I'm off today. I took the day off to be at my dental surgeon. We talked about that before the call. So the audience is just finding out now. Newsflash, I was at the dental surgeon this morning. So I
just thought you would have wanted like a moment of silence so we could all so you could all, give a moment of prayer for your jaw.
That's a good idea. Jaws are important. They're used for many activities. Most people just enjoy their jaws. I certainly enjoy my jaw. I use it daily.
I like having a jaw. It's worked out for me so far.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't ask you in that consensus they sent you. I'm surprised they didn't ask you how you felt about your jaw.
Nope. Not part of the census, not this year. It could be, though. Any year. I guess there's a census every 4 years. I think. And the U.S. has a census as well. So you guys had one in 2000. So probably 4, 8, 16, 20. So last year you had a census, right?
If we did, I didn't get it.
It's in Canada, it's illegal to not complete the census. You can go to jail. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I have a warrant for my arrest and I just don't know it. I probably should go figure that out, huh?
Imagine if you were traveling to a conference and you get arrested for not filling in the census. How embarrassing that would be. That would be really funny.
Well, the funny part is having to call someone to bail you out of jail and explain to them why you're in jail in the first place. Like, that's a great story.
Have you been to jail and had to be bailed out recently that you want to tell us about?
No, but I'm just saying, like, usually people need to be bailed out for, like, I don't know, like a DUI or something, but, like, just calling someone and being like, I need $2,000 to be bailed out of jail because I didn't get the census form. And yeah, that's
So I went to the census for the United States Census Bureau, which is the department of U.S. government that provides this. And it does turn out that the last census in the U.S. Looks like it has to take place once every 10 years, according to Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States of America. And the number of seats each state has in the U.S. House of Representatives is a process called appointment. I can't even read it. You know what? You're a writer. I'm going to private chat you this word and you can read it. It's that bad. It's got too many T's in it. And it's overwhelming. What's that word?
Apportionment. Apportionment.
Apportionment. That's not really that hard. See, clearly you're a better reader than me. Anyway, so, the 2020 census happened. That was last year. If you did not complete it, you may be in violation of the law.
So how does it come with, like, when you go to cast your vote? Like, when they give you all that paperwork to fill out? Is that when they send it?
So the census in Canada, they mail it to you. And if you don't complete it within a certain time period, they send somebody to your house. And if you don't answer the door or whatever, they keep sending people to your house until they have your census information. That's how they do it here. I don't know what happens in the U.S. Like, you guys do things differently.
No, but I'm saying, like, when they mail it to you, does it come at the same time? Like, say it's a...
Well, that doesn't here.
Oh, yeah. Because you vote for your prime minister how often?
So in Canada, there's not a set time period. There's a time period during which there's a window of opportunity to call an election. And then once the election is called, I believe it's like 13 weeks or something. There's a short time period for everything to happen. So people have to figure out who's on the ballots and what parties there are. And in Canada, there's lots of parties to vote for. So the big parties are the ones like the most seats currently in sitting parliament in Canada would be the Conservative Party, the Liberal Party, the NDP, which is another party, the Québécois, which is sort of like a separatist party that's heavily represented in Quebec. I don't even think they run seats out of Quebec, but Quebec's a huge province for seats.
Okay.
And then there's the Green Party. So those are all the parties that have seats now. But then there's also the People's Party of Canada, which ran in the last election. It's like a new political party. It sort of has a revolutionary leader.
Okay.
It's very interesting. So when we have an election in Canada, you will have members potentially in your riding from any of those different political parties. So everybody votes, and then it's based on whoever gets the most vote per riding. And then that's your elected member of parliament, your MP.
Got it.
Yeah. And then there's the House of Commons, which is where all the MPs sit in Canadian Parliament, which is conveniently located about an hour from my house in Ottawa, the nation's capital of Canada. And then there's also the House, which is, so there's a House of Commons, the House, and then there's the Senate. So when a bill is passed for new laws in Canada, it goes through the House of Commons first, and all the MPs vote on it. It gets passed or not passed. Mm-hmm. And then if it's passed, it goes to the Senate, and they vote on it. And if it's passed, then it goes for royal ascension, and then it is approved by the government and becomes a law. Yeah.
I've learned so much from you today.
It's a wonderful time of learning.
So, yeah, if you all come to Empowery, the Empowery Women's Conference, Jacob here has just full, JT here, is just full of random nuggets. Like, so if nuggets of actual chocolate and wisdom. So just go up to him and say, I would like 4 nuggets, please. And he'll pull out a bar and tell you some really cool facts about Canada.
I could, yeah. So, so you did you Facebook stalk me sufficiently before this live stream?
I didn't. I was ill prepared. I actually was,
okay.
Yeah, very ill prepared.
Well, I'll fill you in. So I am most well known for my book called Merch and the World of Print on Demand. And you and I talked about this on chat, but I said I was a writer and I had a book. It's real. This is a real book, lots of words in it. And it's not all like picture book. There's a lot of parts of it where it's just me writing about stuff that helps people. So the random page, outsourcing design creation services. You can use Design Pickle, or over here, what is the process for VA rentals? So if you want to rent a virtual assistant. Yeah, the book's more than 300 pages. It's one of the best.
Did you say rent a VA?
Yeah, there's a company called VA Rentals, and so their terminology that they use is rent.
I'm like, they're not houses, they're people.
It's true. I talk about training your VAs as people and making sure that you have a personal connection and things with them. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's like special types of print that you can do for print on demand, like heat press, digital, direct to garment, screen digital, screen printing, embroidery, all kinds of different things. It talks about files. And anyways, so that's what people know me for. And then I also have a chocolate company, 5 Leaf Chocolate, which sells gold-plated chocolate bars. And by day, I work for the government, not as an employee, but as a third-party arm's length private contractor. So the government has a contract with a company, and the company has a contract with another company, and that company has a contract with my company, and then my company hires me. That's how I'm connected to the government. So I do work for the government, but not.
It kind of sounds like you work for the CIA and can't talk about it.
It's very similar to that. I can't talk about that. Actually. I do have a contract with the Queen of England, which is interesting. I can't tell you anything about it, but I have it.
That's
actually in my desk here.
I love that throughout this show, like every topic we've come up with, you have an actual prop readily available to show us. Like you knew we were going to be talking about the Queen of England and your ninja outfit and your book and your chocolate. Like you just have all your props just lined up for it, don't you?
There's money from the UK. They use the pound. 20 pounds. It's much lighter though, because in the US, pounds is a weight, a unit of measure, whereas in the UK, it's a currency, right? 20 pounds means money in the UK. 20 pounds in the US is like weight, whereas here it would be kilograms. Kind of exciting. It's
Um,
funny how words have meanings, and words mean different things to different people. So, McClain, what are some like cool things that you've done for your clients at the Right Buzz that have really helped to improve their ability to sell online?
I will answer this. I'm just warning you, my battery's on 4%. So if I just go blank, you don't need to call the cops or send out like a bolo. I'm okay. It's my computer just died.
Okay.
What I think what you asked me.
Sorry.
So
what give me an example of something that you've done for clients that's helped to improve their sales online, for online sales?
Yeah, so actually recently, and they're still my client, I have a client that they sell activewear and leisure wear for women with incontinence issues, or, you know, like sweat a lot or have discharge or periods, you know, obviously not something super sexy to talk about, but their goal was to create really comfortable clothing for those particular female issues, but also make the line like fresh, sexy, cute stuff people still want to wear.
Right.
And within this, us discussing, because I was there pretty much from the beginning of the whole process, and the direction we went with it was kind of talking about how we want to push or create a movement where women can feel more comfortable talking about uncomfortable issues, right?
Yeah.
So, one of their main tagline is, I believe, I didn't come up with this one, so I don't. I believe it's bodies in motion.
Okay.
And because it's all like activewear stuff, right? So I came to the idea that we should have women empowerment. And so the slogan we came up with, confidence, emotions. So it's kind of saying, trying to create a movement toward confidence. So that's their new slogan or tagline. And
Isn't that also the research in motion?
Isn't that what?
Isn't that also the research in motion tagline?
The what tagline?
Subaru. That's literally their slogan. Subaru, confidence in motion.
With confidence in motion, with emotion. Not motion. Confidence and movement, for a movement and confidence.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
You kind of
had me going there. I was like, oh my gosh, you made the slogan for Subaru? This women's athletic wear is actually a car? It's all part of you're using verbs instead of adjectives?
So
everybody was picturing somebody wearing tight spandex, and actually they're wearing a Subaru car on their butt. And the problem they were trying to solve was when people go into nature, which all ties back to the outdoor sporting example, Subaru was the client, and the women's athletic wear was the Subaru Forester. And you made up the Subaru tagline, which is confidence in motion. I was like, holy cow, McClain, I had no idea you were involved at such deep levels in the Subaru Corporation of Japan. That's fantastic. Sorry, I'm just...
And in my defense, I actually did not know that was even their tagline. So no, I did not copy it from them. Anyway, so now all of our blogs and stuff are surrounded with that concept in mind. And, you know, I can't take full credit for them doing really well, but I think it has impacted just the structure of the company and how people view it and people relating to it. So
cool. When did you do the slogan?
About a month ago.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if you did it before Subaru, you could sue them. That would be a big income earner because it's a big corporation. You're like, Subaru, you took my slogan for my client. I'm suing you now. That would be kind of fun.
That would be a good way to retire. Like, what a great story of how I retired.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How can somebody get in touch with you, and how would they connect with you at the conference and also just outside of the conference?
At the conference, just, throw something on my head if you see me. That's a good way of getting my attention. I'll be at the MGM Grants, that's where I'm staying. Please don't stalk me or follow me there. But, if you happen to see me at the craps table, you can certainly.
Oh, her battery died, but she warned us of this piece, so that's okay. So that concludes today's live stream with McClain Warren. She will be live in Vegas at the MGM. She said, do not stalk her there, but if you see her at the craps table, come say hi. Today's presentation was super live, so if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer it. If you want more information about Empowery, you can get that at empowery.com. Again, we're talking about the Empowery Women's Conference, e-commerce conference. And both men and women are welcome to come to the Women's Conference. It's in Las Vegas, July 16th and 17th. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back later with more live stream interviews with people that you would like to know more about. All right, see you later.